What's up, boys and girls? Today is a spicy one. I hope you got your pen and pad ready. We're going to hit on all cylinders. We're going to talk about some things. Make sure you drop your city and state in there by supporting the channel. Super chat, cash app, likes. You keep us fighting Skynet, because today Skynet may take this video down. You never know. All right, so listen, you guys, put a 1 in the comments also if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. If you don't know who I am, you just caught this video. This is Erica Williams, Smartphone Millionaire, how to invest in people, businesses, and real estate from the palm of your hand. Also, if you haven't got it, boy, do you need it now. Gratitude journal, how to redirect, recalibrate your life, and also the planner, because some of y'all is behind schedule. Better get on with it. Now, look. I'm going to drop some books today. I'm going to talk about some knowledge today. And I have to address earlier, Glendon had a video. He called me a Republican. I am not a Republican. I am a Dixiecrat from the South. And Dixiecrats can go left or right, depending on the candidate. And also, he talked about Morris Invest. And I want to point out to you, like a giant chameleon in the room, Morris Invest is going through a lawsuit of over $5 million or so, fraud, all this other stuff. And he sold his house in New Jersey, multi-million-dollar house in New Jersey, and took his family and went to Portugal. And he's like, oh, I'm not fleeing the country. I'm totally going to be back and forth today. I'm going to be back and forth. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fine. Well, when he started, people were kind of roasting him in his videos in the comments. And he started talking about the stimulus check. And poof, voila. Everybody forgot. And then they just talked about the stimulus. And now his channel is at 500,000 viewers, 500,000 subscribers, and everything's all rosy and great. And I want to talk to you about that, because that's the power of media. That's the power of social media. You can get on here, you can talk about something, and y'all do not look at old videos. You don't look at old clips. I've had people say, oh, YouTube recommended your old video to me. It's pretty good. And that's the power of the economy and the people we live in, that people have short-term goldfish memories. So they have no desire to go back and research anything. They have no desire to go check something out. And let me go see if that's accurate. Let me Google what that person said. And so what ends up happening, is people fall for the okie doke more than once. And I've voiced many of my concerns of what I think is happening right now in DC and what I think is happening in this country. And people don't like to be defrauded. They don't like fraud. And there's going to be some Americans like, no, I could never conceive any kind of fraud happening in our country. We talked about Russia meddling in our stuff for years. But now all of a sudden, no, there's no fraud, Erica. No, there's no way. But I'm going to bring to you what you can control, because I can't control the government. I can't control if I think there's massive fraud going on. I can't stop if they steal an election in Georgia and Georgia cares about Waffle House and Huddle House and riding in BMWs. I can't stop any of that. What I can do is own or be owned. And you know how you do that? You dig down and you dig deep into your business. What is your business? If you have a family, if it's just you, you need to be about procuring your income for 2021 and making sure that you don't get trapped up in this. Because I was on Facebook, and some of you guys think I be on there trolling, which sometimes I do. I was on Facebook, and DL Hughley, I'm a top commenter because I just go in there and throw a bomb and walk away. And and I literally the other day was like, open the country back up. And people were like, people dying, people can't go to work. And I'm like, if you're depending on this $2,000, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. If this $2,000 is the make or break of your family, it is too late. Now you're going to say, Erica, no, I didn't come to your channel to hear that. I came to your channel to hear I can start tomorrow and make $100,000. That's why I came to your channel, Erica. And that's okay. If that's why you came here, great. Welcome. But we're going to give you some truth while we give you some of that cough syrup, okay? The problem is there's a lot of things that I could say. I'm trying to be careful, walk my words. What you see happening at the White House right now and at the Capitol is a lot of theatrics, but it is a true If you actually go see people all over Twitter, all over Instagram, there are probably 1 million people at the Capitol right now. And people are like, Erica, but the inauguration is the 21st. Yes, but the protest was today. And they're just people. I mean, even Howard college students are talking about how there's Trump supporters parked all over their campus because there's no parking. So if you don't think there's people that are awake and angry, pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. Part of what we're dealing with is an unprepared society. We have people who are unprepared we have people who are unprepared emotionally, physically, financially. I was watching two white guys who are in the, manosphere space or whatever, and they were talking about only 30% of men are in shape. So even if you complain about only 20% of women are in shape, you're not even in shape, right? And these are two staunch guys. And talking about emotional maturity, how a lot of these people don't have emotional maturity. And when you look at Ayanna Fix My Life, she's quitting because of the internet's roasting her all the time and making her a meme, and people aren't emotionally mature. Yeah, we know that. We know there's tons of Americans who are not emotionally mature. So how do y'all think we're going to segue the country into this definitely big talk conversation when they're not even mature enough to handle their day-to-day lives? Mitt Romney was right in 2012. 47% of this country will always vote for somebody else to make the decision for them. Point blank, period. Right? We cannot make fun of South America anymore. That's what we're doing. If you can't criticize this election, you can't criticize what you're seeing on the news and TV, and you're getting taken off of YouTube, which again, support this channel. Skynet might take this video down. I'm okay with it. But, I said what I said. I said my piece. If you can't speak freely, do you know what I'm saying? If you can't speak freely, then we're no different than Venezuela. We're no different than any of these South American countries we try to make fun of if we can't speak freely on this. And someone posted it today, and I thought about it. They're like, in France be going upside the head of their president every 2 weeks. They throwing stuff up in his house if he blink wrong. And I just laughed, but I was like, other countries don't tolerate what we tolerate because we live comfortable. We live in America. We live in great homes. We live really comfortable, and we enjoy ourselves. So there isn't this real we should really do something about that up there. We don't. Even inside the Hughley's group, somebody was saying, well, we pay taxes, Erica, so I deserve my $2,000. I said, honey, you don't understand how our economy works. Our children and grandchildren will pay for this taxes. You will pay for that. They don't even understand how money works. They better give me a check. Oh, from who? Your children? You're stealing from your children. Now, you're going to say, well, Erica, you can't talk like that because you took the PPP. Yeah, to keep people working, to keep businesses open. You know what I'm saying? So look, accountants are under a lot of stress right now. And I had a few accountants I wanted to bring on the channel, but they're all so busy. Part of what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is what's the future of America, right? And I want to make it very clear that that first wave of people, that first wave of people that were like, yo, I can't afford this, I'm going to my car. That second wave of people like, hey, I can't afford this, I'm going to a nice finished out van life or RV life. The third set of people are like, I can't afford any of it. I'm going to go to the country. I'm going in the middle of the woods where I can find a piece of land for $8,000 and start building something on there. Right? And that's where people are. Those are the first, second, and third wave people. See, we didn't even pay attention because we're so busy focused on this election. We're so focused on parties. We missed the first, second, and third wave. The first wave people are in their car right now. They like, I can't afford anything. I'm in my car. Second wave people are in a nice RV that they chose. I chose the van life, Erica. See, I chose it. Sure you did. Number three are people who are like, I'm out of California. I'm out of New York. I will go live in the country where I don't know nobody and start over. Right? And this one girl tried to say, yeah, Atlanta's real expensive now. Honey, that ain't the country. That's a major international city. Are you serious? And that's how detached we are. America is so regional that we've completely missed the fact that, again, people, there's a map and I'm going to show it because I love this map. It cracks me up, makes me giggle a little bit about it because that's how regional even just one state is, that you will talk about this state and people are like, what? Go over here. And you're never going to get all these people to agree. If you like the video so far, put a 1 in the comments. Just help me out here with a like or a 1. Either one of those will do. I ain't trying to fight with you today. Just support the channel so Skynet doesn't keep us going. Atlanta isn't country. That's the funny thing. This girl tried to convince me on Twitter, who's from New York, because she's a New Yorker, that Atlanta was country. And that's just the craziest part of you hear something, you're sitting there like, what? That's how disattached people are. Thank you, Jasmine, for the Cash App. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Trust me, every little bit helps. We're going to use it. We're going to use it, baby. Now, I want to show you a couple pictures. Again, this is my community post page. Say what you will about it. See if I can make this bigger. I don't think I can. Let's see if we can, though. Boom. Is that bigger? Is that better? I don't know. I just want y'all to see that mass of people who are up there right now. And they knew they were going to be up there because they got netting everywhere and fencing everywhere. They were getting ready to protect themselves from idiots climbing everywhere over there. They already knew these people were coming. They knew these people were coming. Again, the government has plans on top of plans on top of plans. They knew these people were coming. Tell me if this is big enough for y'all to see it. You should be able to see it. Okay. All right. So again, Timothy, don't come in here talking about daggone tax cuts. Please do not come in here talking about tax cuts. Okay. Because that has nothing to do with shit. Okay. Please stop. I'm going to cuss and I'm not going to be happy. Get out of here. Okay. All right. So again, this is Antifa. This is not these regular people. Again, these are people storming the Capitol. Thank you for the $5 super chat. This is not what I was trying to show y'all. All right. This is what I'm trying to show y'all for Georgia. Now, people are like, yeah, Georgia came out, man. Georgia came out, man. Yeah. No, she was arguing me down that Atlanta was a country, was real country. And I just want to show you when I talk about America being regional, look at this map. It made a joke about Waffle House, Huddle House, lakes that eat people, Lake Lanier, lakes you can't afford to live on, right? Augusta, South Carolina, Alabama, secret Alabama, lakes filled with old cars. I got a lot of scary lakes out there. 100,000 feral hogs running around, right? The good Starbucks by 75, which is probably Highway 75, where people live off stuff that falls off trains, pine trees and guns. Secret Alabama too, except this time it's flatter, right? So when people talk to me about, well, Georgia did this or Georgia did, I'm like, honey, Georgia is a unique place, just like a lot of other places. Thank you, Big Lou, for the $10 super chat. It's very unique. It's not this monolith. And the United States is not a monolith, right? It's lost treasure of Jeff Foxworthy. That still cracks me up. Shirtless men on ATVs, on four-wheelers. Again, this is a whole state. This is just one state out of our 50 states. And so when I'm talking to people about people disagreeing, people are like, oh, no, Erica, no one's disagreeing on that. And I'm going, that's where you live. This country's very regional. It's very regional. And you have to take in consideration that people do not agree with you. People do not agree with you. Sorry, let me get over here. Okay. And that we are not on the same page. Okay. Lake Lanier was a cemetery. That's why so many bad things happen there. I'm pretty sure. But I bought this up, and I'm going to show a couple different books in this chat because people are saying, what's the future of America? And I'm going to tell you, first, second, third wave, Those are people in transition. The fourth wave, I'm going to call the fourth wave now, because the third wave is people who moved to the country. The fourth wave are people who are like, yo, I'm taking my shillings, I'm taking my coins, and I'm bouncing. Even Sylvester Stallone left Hollywood, who's made millions off Hollywood, left Hollywood to go buy Florida mansion. There are people just jumping ship. And they're like, Erica, the weather's just so good in California. People can go. Now, there's a book I'm going to show first. I already know I'm going to get some pushback, and I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because my future's secure. Like, you know, you decide what you're going to do. Thank you, Hannah, for the $49 super chat. And also thank you, Shirlette, for the $10 Cash App. She said, do another video with Asia Denson. We'll go over to Asia Denson's Instagram page and tell her we want her to come over here. Tell her we need her to come over. That's what you got to do. All right. So this book that y'all going to complain about, you're going to say, oh, Erica, I'm sick of you. Glenn Beck's Broke. Now, first thing you're going to say is, I'm not going to read a book by Glenn Beck, Erica. No, I'm not reading no book by Glenn Beck. And that already shows me you're not forward thinking. Okay. This book has over 500 cliff notes, documented articles, all that good stuff. This isn't this man saying that. That's literally what's happening. Now, if you actually go pick up this book, this is from 2011, and somebody's going to be like, well, that's old. This book predicted what we're going through right now. There was a couple summers where they closed the national parks, and people got crazy. Oh, how dare you close national parks? Because we didn't have any money. The reason those stimulus checks went out before the bill was actually even finished completely being signed is because the government had already said, we're going to run out of money on Tuesday if we do not vote. And so they had already, in their mind, closed it out, lined, hey, send them checks out. Because they had needed the money for Congress to keep going, or it would be closed. You can go read about all this. You can see about even public school system. We complain about a lot about the public school system. Before the 1970s, a lot of our schools were going on our own individual stuff. There was no national school thing, right? The more you pushed into civil rights, the more we got to that. Okay. Great book. This is a great book. I need you to check it out, right? You can't come to me with argument if you're not even going to read numbers and facts, right? And so there was a time where all this stuff wasn't controlled by our national government. And it's not that long ago. I'm literally talking about 60s. You know, you used to be able to learn how to do home ec, shop, fix cars, do all this stuff, plumbing, become a plumber, become an electrician right out of high school. You used to be able to shoot guns and learn how to shoot guns because, again, what was going on in the 60s, 70s? Vietnam War. Okay? And so you had those things going on in public school systems, and the more we started making schools standardized and national, and you have all these people to account to, and standardized testing, and all this other stuff, right? You got all these things start getting taken out of schools because they couldn't afford it nationwide. They couldn't make it universal nationwide. So you can go to some schools right now in the Midwest and parts of Texas, old high schools. They still have where they shot guns by the swimming pools. They still have that stuff, you guys. And it's not that long ago. So a lot of the stuff that we talk about returning to is possible. Now, what's the future for America? Economic uncertainty. Again, first wave, they in their car. Second wave, we choose to be in an RV. We choose. We saving money. Number 3, I'm going to move to the country. So far in the country that it's super cheap. Number 4, I'm going to take all I can out of California and New York, and I'm going to move to the South, and I'm going to start over. I'm going to sell my $700,000 house and come get a $100,000 house, take the other $300,000 and go invest it. I know people right now living off of near Apple's going to be built, and they've literally, the equity in their house has jumped up so much since living here in Austin that they've taken the equity out of their house and invested in other rental properties in other parts of Texas. Practical nurse training was in high school in the 1980s. You see what I'm saying? This isn't that long ago. And so what people don't understand is that, again, the government just now started being this strong arm that we see today. They can't afford to be much longer. So I want you to grab this book and I want you to check it out because people are like, oh, Erica, what are you talking about? I'm talking about hyperinflation, but it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. Okay. You can go on page 303 to read about the Department of Education for yourself. Let's see. Okay, that's one. Now, many people are gonna say, "Well, Erica, what's that got to do with me?" Because I see y'all in the comments talking about, taxes and the government gave these tax breaks. You cannot keep taxing people to death. It will not work. It will not work. Okay, the people that have any brains in their head will get around taxes. Now, I'm gonna show you these two books, and I'm gonna be very careful. This is from 2017. Again, every year they have a new one. Okay. And this one is 11th edition. I think they're on the 13th edition. Now, why am I bringing this up? Your accountants that you may be working with right now, even your H&R Block, because I worked at H&R Block for 3 years, we are under the old system. We are taught by an old accountant who was taught by an old accountant. Home businesses were bad. All these deductions were bad. Why are you writing off all this stuff is bad. New accountant, new homeschool people. How you think Trump got 750? Paid $750, okay? $750 if you're from the South. Deductions, right? Now you're gonna say, well, Erica, how are these people taking deductions? They should be paying their fair share. The people that were here in the United States that did the Tea Party, they were paying 4% tax. And they threw the tea into the river, over 4% tax. We're paying in parts of America 40% tax, pretty much nationwide at this point. Now, if you're in New York and California, you're getting closer to 60. Now they're going to argue, no, I don't pay 60, Erica. There's no way. Between your cell phone, your sales, you're buying food, your toll roads, all this stuff, you are paying 60%. Okay. And the people that are saying, give me my $2,000, Erica, I don't care. Give me my $2,000. You are saying my children will pay until infinity. And you think China, you make fun of Trump talking about China, but the fact remains is China just talked about how we have too many guns in America, and Congress agreed with them. Whose government is it? Is it ours or is it somebody else's? If you owe enough money to people, it's not yours anymore. All right. So again, grab this one, but this year's version. Grab this one, but this year's version, of course. Corporate citizen. You either, and here's the thing. If you don't think these companies enjoyed this year, like I brought on Nick Perry yesterday, and it was one of my lowest viewed videos. This is a man making $160,000 a week. And it was one of my lowest viewed videos because people like me to just talk silly on here. And that's okay. I'll do that. But I just want you to understand, people are showing you that systems matter, that people will come work for you for $12 to $18 an hour because people much rather have a job. And there's a lot of people in our society that just need a job. They don't want to think. They don't want to worry about other people. They don't want to do any of that. They just want to show up, chill out, get their check, go home. That's it. That's what they want to do. And that's okay. That's their right. That's their right to do that. But please believe, the United States saw this year, a lot of companies, I can make you work from home with your own computer, with your own laptop, with your own desk stuff, and pay you less. I'm going to do that. Now, best believe if the tax system gets a little funky, because we might have Biden and Harris in there, y'all going to go back to them offices. You know why? Because they're going to find a new way to make y'all go back to them offices and get those write-offs. Okay? Again, another book that's important that many people don't understand about what's happening with the Democrat Party, why we're going to a system in the future we're really going to have one party. I know I'm not trying to get too Republican on y'all, but I'm really a Dixiecrat on y'all is 47% of people right now, 50% of all children in the United States, and you go look this up and I can go bring it up on the page, 50% of every single child in the United States right now lives in a house where either a parent is getting Social Security, means a grandparent lives there, getting food stamps, or getting Medicaid or Medicare. 50% of all children in America. I've already told you the demographics in the future are going to be very brown. But if you have a bunch of people who are very brown in the country and they're all poor and a small minority of white and Asian people and Hispanics white have the money, that's what Brazil has now. It didn't solve racism for Brazil to have a bunch of brown children that are poor. It didn't solve anything. I want you to understand that. And you're going to a one-party system and you don't understand why, but I'm just going to show you this. This book is called Disintegration of Black America. But this book can speak to every single American that is out there. This isn't just for Black people. I want you to pretty much go check this book out. Eugene Robinson, Disintegration of Black America. Okay? Because in this book, you have 4 classes. Okay? You have, and I'm going to just kind of read the back because it's easiest. You have the mainstream. And a lot of people fit in here. They're middle class majority with a solid stake in society. You know, your kids go to school. Your wife's got a nice little SUV. She's living great. Hold on. You got people cutting up. Time out. You're putting time out. And that's a large part of our society. A lot of people, if you ask them or you survey them, I'm middle class. Yeah. How much do you make a year? $30K. How many people in your house? 4. My wife doesn't work. Honey, you're in poverty. No, I live in middle of nowhere, Indiana. I'm fine. But if you ever try to leave Indiana, you ever try to fly anywhere, you ever try to go on vacation, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. You can't. You're in poverty. Next one is a large abandoned minority with less hope than ever escaping poverty. Now, hey, more no-go zones. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Why is this important about this large abandoned minority class with less than hope than ever? Even the bait and switch book, go read that. You have a huge white population right now that are dying from deaths of despair. Go Google this. This is literally a new death term that they put on certificates now because, you know, person was young. Nothing's wrong with them. They're on opiates or they committed suicide. They literally called the category deaths of despair. That's what they've called it now. It's a literally legal category because these people have no hope. Now, why do they have any hope? They're going to schools that aren't preparing them for real life work. People been home for 11 months and they're telling you they need $2,000. You've been home for almost a year and within a year, you could not figure out what you needed to do. What also happened this past year? When we gave people stimulus checks, when we gave them different incentives, they took the money and put it in the stock market. And 98% of Robinhood traders are losing money. Why is this happening? Because these people immediately said, oh my God, I have the wrong training. I should have been doing the stock market. I should have been learning tech. I should have been learning jobs. Every night I wake up, not every night, I get up in the next morning, I'll see a notification on my phone that someone bought Kamoy's tech writing class, someone bought Chris's class, that someone bought Terry's stock class. Why? Because people know they needed that training. They needed that training before now, and now their back is against the wall and they have to study. They have to train. Something must change in their life or they will be in what? The large abandoned minority class. See, you used to have people that could just graduate high school and they could just walk over there and go to the factory. They could just walk over there and go work at Walmart. They could just go work at Amazon, you know, and pack packages, and it didn't matter what they did. And in a few years, they figured it out. You don't have that anymore. They don't have that anymore, you guys. That is gone. A lot of those factories in Milwaukee, when you see all this stuff going on with Milwaukee, all those Black people that are in that area of Milwaukee that have these high arrest rates, that was the last factories that were in Milwaukee. And now ever since that's happened, like they've been there working in the factories, people hated them, people were racist to them. And then when the factories went away, they're like, damn, why are these Black people still here? Ain't no jobs for them here in Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm talking bad about Milwaukee and people can correct me, but you can go Google Milwaukee and go see the lawsuits to the police force, the lawsuits to the schools, the lawsuits to the area. You want to call somewhere Alabama of the North? Milwaukee is Alabama of the North. And go ask any Black people who leave from there. Their whole mission, when you talk to them, is to take their whole family and move them to Texas. Take their whole family and move them to Florida. Take their whole family and move them because it's that bad. Go Google Milwaukee. Google for yourself. When you take the factories out of a lot of these places, the police now just circle those areas and arrest people. Oh, you're lingering, you're loitering, you're stealing. What are you doing? Now, if you say, Erica, I don't want to leave Wisconsin. I want to live out here. Okay. You need to figure out how to make money from your laptop. You need to learn how to work remote, because the jobs you're trying to ensure are not there. Oh, Erica, people can't afford no laptop. People can't afford a $200 laptop from Best Buy that is available, but they can afford shoes. They can afford iPhones. They can afford cars. Miss me with that every day of the week. It's a desire. It's a mindset. So we have a large abandoned class in America. It's not just Black, it's also white. And a lot of these young men you see angry on the internet, they used to be working. They would be working a job. They'd be somewhere actively working, pursuing life on their way. Period. That's the truth. That's why they're here on the internet. I'm mad. I'm angry. Okay, cool. There's plenty of books called Angry White Man. It's an actual book called that. Go look it up. Okay. Other two groups, a small transcendent elite who enormous power and wealth makes even whites nervous. Now, what does that mean from this book? What does that mean? That means you have the Oprahs, you have basketball players who sound terrible, who aren't really good examples. You have a book, Dr. Kimbrell's Black Millionaire's Guide or something, Black Wealth Choice. Somebody put it in there, Dr. Kimbrell's book. You have 35,000 millionaires that are Black, right? And that was book's a couple years old at this point, several years old. So that number's most likely changed. And those people are doing so financially well that other white people go, look at them. They're doing well. Look how well they're doing. Look at Oprah. Look at Tyler Perry. Look at this person. Look at this other person. And they're outliers, right? Because you can point to these people that even white people are like, well, damn, they got a lot of money. I don't live that good. See, this is the thing white people point to when they say, well, I don't have white privilege because look at that Black person over there doing better than me financially. And they completely miss the whole point that person's not even in the same class as you. You're not in the same. That's why when we talk about the high value man thing, that I'm not making fun. I just really generally want you to understand that when you meet somebody making $400,000 a year and you sit in a room and you tell people you make $400,000, there's maybe one or two other men in the room with me when I say that. The rest are like, girl, damn, that's crazy, right? I'm going to a meeting tomorrow with 40 businessmen, and there'll probably be some women in there in Houston, Texas, because of my salary, because my income bracket my businesses have put me in, because of the profit bracket my businesses have put me in. And now I'm sitting here like, oh, dang, what do I need to wear? Oh, I'm going in a room full of people who are millionaires. I need to actually wear some better damn clothes. I can't just put on my yoga pants and hop up in the room like I'm a YouTuber. What's up? That's not how that works, right? Right? I'm doing a golf classic in March. I'm going to put on golf clothes. My whole staff, well, two of my staff, I'm making do the golf classic with me so we can give the money to charity. You're in different rooms. Right? And so even when I went to go purchase my new vehicle and I didn't put any money down, I dropped my P&L and my bank statements because they needed to verify it was me. They literally were like, all right, how do we know you're Erica Williams? Well, my driver's license, my lease, everything. This is me. Oh my gosh. Well, ma'am, you're good. Here you go. Keys, here you go. Have a great day. You're good. You're good. Peace on out. Right? Because that's a transcendent class. You're not in the class you're now. Now, I'm not in transcendent class. Let me be very careful. I'm in an upper middle class area where we're doing all right. We ain't stunting, but we doing all right. The transcendent class is way above me. Transcendent is when you see Michael Dell's children sitting on a boat, laughing about stuff, sitting on private planes, laughing about stuff. When I talk about, I really feel bad for y'all having to travel with TSA, and in the future, y'all have to take shots in your arm, make sure you can travel. There's already private plane clubs that are packed. And if you're in the right 20%, I think we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm going to show you all the list of like private planes or whatever. We're going to have a conversation about it. Okay. And we'll go on that. But yeah, thank you, Dr. Kimbrell's. That's the book, Secret of Black Millionaires. Okay. And then the last group. The newly emergent group, and I'm being careful here because I know people get sensitive. Emergent group of mixed race individuals, recent Black immigrants who question what Black even means. Now, again, we can point to Nigerians, We can point to mulatto children. But I grew up in military towns, and I saw that the generation underneath, if your mom was Asian and your dad was black, or your mom was Asian, your dad was white, or some kind of mix, or you were Panamanian, those kids did not mingle and marry future down the road black or white people. They usually married other mixed kids, other mixed military kids who knew their future. Hey, girl, we similar struggle, right? I saw half white Asian Korean boys leave America, go to Korea for 2 years just to meet girlfriends and be immersed in that culture rather than stay in America. So that group of mixed kids, right? That group of mulatto kids, they marry and intermarry each other. There's a YouTuber. She's a sex therapist. She's literally 6 years older than the guy she married. She's beautiful. She's half Indian, half black. She's got blue-green eyes. He is half black, half white, like 6 years younger than her. And people, they had a video go viral, and they've been doing great ever since or whatever. And she makes millions. She's made at least a couple million. They experienced black discrimination in Los Angeles, California, trying to buy a house, where this girl's made millions. And the people at the loan office were like, well, you know, you have a $40 collection account on your credit. Can you get that cleared up? And we're going to call T-Mobile to make sure it's cleared up. This woman made $3 million and is buying a house in LA, and you're trying to redline her over a $40 collection account. Why? Because outside they look exotic, beautiful, light skinned, but on paper, they're still black, right? Okay. And so, yeah, Shane, that's her name, Shane Body. And so those people will meet, marry, and intermingle, even though she's 6 years older. And most of the manosphere will tell you that will never happen. She's 6 years older than the husband she got, because they're in that same mulatto class. And I'm trying to get you guys to understand that. And when people are like, well, what's that have to do with anything, right? Because you have Nigerians who, Lovey, I'm not knocking Lovey. She does her thing. She does what she does. There was some pushback when she said Akata. She called black people Akata, which means feral cat. We'll leave that where it is. I'll talk about it later. She literally won a scholarship that was for African Americans. And she literally said, I do not consider myself black. And literally talked about it openly later. And got married to another Nigerian in her late 30s. Right? And so you're talking about a culture where those people are going to be fine. They're going to get married. They're going to be fine. Their women can be 35 with degrees and still get married to another Nigerian man and go on about their day. That is not true for you. Okay? So that's why when I talk about this, and you guys are like, why are you bringing this up, Erica? This doesn't need to be talked about. It does. Because it helps you understand what you're looking at in America. It helps you understand what you're seeing and why there's so many people who, you know, you see Nigerians, they buy rental property, they in engineering, they're doctors, they're nurses. Their family is funneling them to those degrees. Money Madu's amazing example, was an engineer, made enough money to step away and do whatever he likes. I've got white and Asian friends who've been engineers since they got out of college, making 120 grand a year every year since college. They're 31 to 35 now, and they've decided, I don't want to do that no more. I've saved up so much money and bought 2 or 3 rental properties. I'm a chill. But you got African-American people here and white men on this man's internet who were born here. Born here. And Jessica, focus on the conversation or get on out of here. Okay? Born here, complaining that they can't get a fair strike. In their mid-30s on the internet, complaining about dating when they have no money, when they have no accomplishments, when they don't have careers. The focus is off. O'Shea Duke Jackson did a video the other day talking about the reason he started making so much money, which he was making money on YouTube before, but now he makes double, if not 10x the money he made before, is he's talking about mindless gossip crap. And that's what you want. You just want mindless gossip crap. Okay? Do you guys understand? I don't want America to be segregated. I live in America. We self-segregate ourselves by class. And we are. You are not living. And again, this was the misnomer of people moving to the north. That black people are going to move up north. And it was going to be no racism. You do not live next door to people outside of your class in New York. You may walk around the streets. You may go by on the train. You may be in public areas, but you don't live there. So miss me with that. You do not live beside them. We are in different classes in America. This is why it's so important where you send your kids to school, because they spend so many hours a day with those people and with teachers that talk to them a certain way. I used to get kicked out of classrooms because I would correct the teacher on an answer, or I would say something. She's like, that's it, get out of my class. I go to the principal's office and they're like, what'd you do? I said, well, I just corrected her answer because I've been at a private Christian school and her answer was wrong. Oh my God, Erica, you can't be doing that in front of those other kids. It's not like you, but the other kids. So from then on, I was pushed in all AP classes and they never let me go out into regular classes ever again because I was correcting teachers. This is in North Carolina, okay? And there are issues when you realize that we're not all being educated the same. We're not all being treated the same. And I'm just trying to give you a little help here to understand what's going on. So again, if this has been helpful, if this information is helpful, put a 1 in the comments, let me know. I'll keep going. I do have another class to teach tonight. But again, the books I picked up, and I'm going to do it again. Glenn Beck's Broke. If you really want to have a deep conversation with me, this is how you do it. Because this book will really help you, okay? 475 tax deductions for business and self-employed employees. I get it. I was going to do a video talking about LLC Twitter is going to make y'all go to jail. It is. I don't send you out here and say, just start a business, just start a business. I want you to pay attention. When I bring Kamoy on the channel, a lot of y'all are very talented and you work in jobs where you should be doing an inventory of what you do. What do you do to make that company more money? And write it down step by step. Because somebody ought to be able to walk in the office wherever you work right now. And if you fall and break your leg, they ought to know step by step what you need to do tomorrow. That's how thorough it should be where you work. You understand? Okay. And that's the difference. That's it. When you talk about job or business, that's it. I have to write down step by step what I want done every day. I have 2 employees right now who will call me every day if they don't have work. If they're not loaded work, and they're not Philippines, they're Americans. They're like, hey, Erica, what do you want me to do at 2, 3, 4, 5? So I, as a business owner, create a busy schedule, push it to them. Hey, call these people, do this, lock this up, boom, be busy. And the reason I'm going to do that LLC Twitter versus 85 days straight, there's a woman who worked for 85 days straight, 16-hour shifts, and died in a car accident. Now you're going to say, well, Erica, she died in a car accident. She didn't die at work. You work 85 days straight, 16-hour shifts. You let me know how you're going to feel at the end of that. And she was 64 years old. We're not talking about some 20-year-old who could party all night in Cabo, come back tomorrow and be like, I like the cha-cha. No. This is a 64-year-old woman who was probably running. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Running off coffee and energy bull drinks. Okay? If you want me to talk about something other than what I'm talking about, you need to super chat. Don't ask me questions that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Super chat or focus on the conversation. I'm being really, really possible. Okay? Okay? Being as nice as I can be about it, because a lot of times people ask questions and I get it. But if you want me to answer it, drop a super chat. Respect the channel, respect the conversation, or don't. Boom. This one. 1001 tax deductions and breaks 2017. Get the 2019 version. Okay. Get the 2019 version. All right. Disintegration of Black America. Eugene Robinson. Okay. All right. And this is the other one. Cash flow quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki. You have to understand where you fit in this. If you're an employee, great, but you need to invest your money somewhere. That's the America we're heading to. We're heading to that America, right? Jessica, have a great night. You are now blocked off the channel. Goodbye. Have a great night. This is the America we're heading to. You're going to take your employment money and invest it. That's why they've been yelling for years for you to invest in your 401k at work. The work was matching it and all this good stuff, because they realize in the future, if you work every day, and that's the only way you get money, you'll have to work till you die. Okay. Again, S is self-employed. We have a lot of people who are self-employed. Every day they must work or they don't eat, right? And what do I mean? Barbers, hairdressers. You know, I remember telling my sister and several people like, hey, create that hair serum, create that product you want to sell online. If you don't create it, You're going to have to keep doing hair, braiding hair, taking appointments you don't like, going over people whose house stank you don't like, all this crazy stuff that you don't want to do because you don't have a way to make money without your hands physically doing it. Another book to grab with that is called The E-Myth Revisited. Okay. There are a lot of people who are self-employed and that's all they'll ever be. Dentists, doctors, all that stuff. They have to work to make it make work. Now, B is business. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this is something people are going to be angry with me about. If you are a boy or girl and you got a couple $20,000 credit cards and you can pay payroll for your staff for the next 90 days, you can start almost any company you want within reason. There are several people I want to bring on the channel, but I feel like they would be insulting to people because they literally started with a 20K credit card and started a debt collection company and hired people to work the phones and now have crazy money. Right? Because in 2008, like, again, I want you to understand, the people who didn't get it in 2001, that didn't get it in 2008, that didn't get it last year are left behind. Now, who are those people? Who are those people? 2001? 2001 was internet boom, this 9/11, you had airline issues, you had .com bust, you had all that stuff happening. People had to reshuffle. Then you had 2008. You had people in 2006 getting multiple mortgages, boom, 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 boom. They knew it was not going to last. And when they were doing that, 2008 came and it was like, boom. Oh my gosh, we have to start again. We have to reshuffle. Oh my gosh. Reshuffle. Absolutely reshuffle. Okay. Then, and even with 2008, you had people getting laid off. 2001 was a lot of factories left as well. A lot of people missed that part. 1998 was the feel-good 90s with Bill Clinton. A lot of people missed out on the 2001. Also, a lot of factories left then too. So you got places where factories have been gone for 30 years and people still in the town acting like they don't want to do a new trade. The book called The Cheese Has Moved, that book. Okay, the cheese has moved and they are refusing to move. They're refusing to let it go. Okay. Another, when I say 2020, if you've been home for 11 months and you can't figure it out and you're like, I need this $2,000, I need this vaccine shot so I can go back to work, Erica, honey, you are already left behind. We've already shackled up your feet and left you behind. One of my friends just texted me that I'm preaching in these streets. Thank you. I just try to share what I can. And the reason I just want y'all to understand is you are left behind. 2001, 2008, and last year, if you did not get the memo that you have to do something different, you're left behind. Right? Even inside Texas, the panhandle is emptying out. Right? The oil jobs are gone, so they're leaving. Right? They'll come back. It's boom and bust. It always does. But they come and do what? Come into the Dallas, come into the Fort Worth. I got people who lived in Dallas, Fort Worth, love Dallas. They moving out of Dallas to the edges. Nothing wrong. They just want to move further out. We got one friend moved to a town that has 4,000 people in it, y'all. And we were joking, you'll probably be the mayor before this is all out in 10 years. And he laughed. Okay? Do you understand that people are moving? Money is moving every day. There are people making money. Why aren't you? There are wives still shopping every day on Google and Amazon every day. I lived with a girl and she would we'd come home every day and there'd be packages at the door almost. And she forgot she ordered stuff. That's how much she was ordering. And people are like, well, she got debt. She made $185,000 a year. What did it? You are putting stress. Like, here's the problem people are having. The average person is making $40K a year. And when I start trying to explain to them 120, 180, $200,000 a year incomes with people, they miss it because they're like, well, they in debt. No, if you make $180,000 a year and you buy a $20,000 car, you could pay it off in the end of the year. If you have $50K in student loan debt and the student loan debt get on your nerves, you can pay it off in that year, right? And you're like, well, not many people make that, Erica. But that's the point. That's why I moved to the city I'm in, so I could be around like-minded people who are moving, shaking, going, growing, right? Just in this week alone, I reached out to 7 business owners who are like, yeah, girl, I see you doing work. I just Googled your name. Good. Come on, get on the phone with me. Let's go ahead. Let's do business. How can I help you and you help me? because they know so many people don't help themselves. They know so many people are not really investors. Read this book. And so many people are not business, B&I, on that side of that quadrant. They want security. They want something safe. They don't want to think too hard. They just want to get in the car and show up to work every day. I went and got tacos at a great place. It's 24 hours. And you would think, man, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Why is this taco place still open? They are gangbusters all day. In the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 a.m., because people want to get out of their house, 1. And 2, I was sitting beside these 2 guys because there was not enough seats. And the guys are talking, and the guy's like, ever since this happened, I stayed home for a month. I was so depressed. I got up every day and I go to the office. So out of an office of 400 people, he said him and only 40 other people show up to work every day because they just mentally cannot take it. They mentally cannot be home. They know working from home doesn't work for them. And that's why these offices will eventually open back up. I know y'all think, no, Erica, no way. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. They will open back up. Okay. So I'm going to read this. She said, hey, thank you. Again, if you have a question that's outside of what I'm talking about, and you may not like what I'm talking about, but you'll get over it. AE put a $1.99 super chat. What else can I invest in other than stocks? Ma'am, there's a book called Alternative Investor. I thought it was on the table, but it's not. Harvard and Yale have $1 billion endowment, and 96% of the money is not invested in stocks. But guess where you're going to have to put it? Real estate, group funding, Fundrise, which is backed by real estate. A lot of the things you want to move your money to is going to be backed by real estate. That's why when people say, oh, I'm not going to own a house, I'm not going to own anything, I'm like, no worries. Someone will own it and you will just pay them. That's all. And that's fine. You can say we're a renters nation, Erica. This pandemic just showed you we're not a renters nation. Everybody and their mama who could move and get into a house and buy it did. They were like, oh no, this is not for me. I got to leave California. There's a house for $300,000 in Texas. Yes, ma'am. I'm gone. Right? I can get a house for $250,000. And the funny part is when you meet people from Houston and Dallas who complain about houses being more than $250,000, baby, you've been there 20 years. You've seen this happen every day. People coming. You could have chose a house years ago. You just were not prepared and you were left behind, and you will continue to be left behind. So most things you're going to invest in that's other than stocks, baby, is going to be gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, owning your own business, investing in yourself, educating yourself on all the things you can invest in. But a lot of it's tied to land, whether you want to believe that or not. I know people are all like, no, you need a business. It's tied to land. I hope that was helpful. If it wasn't, check out several of our videos on the channel. There's another one in here. Sorry. I know y'all, I missed it. Thank you, Pretty Chicks Invest, for the $10 super chat. What we saw today is frustrated people who, one, let's be very clear, had the money to fly to the Capitol. I just watched the lady's page. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to mess up her business. She has 4 children. She lives in Oklahoma City. She flew on a plane from Oklahoma City that was full, and they were chanting, "Stop the steal." She got to her connection. I think it was somewhere near Nashville or somewhere before it got to DC. The next plane, full to the gills, every seat full. They're yelling, "Stop the steal." All the people around her in first class, regular white people, regular everyday average Joes, get to Washington, D.C., they're still yelling, "Stop the steal." What you're seeing in this country, what you see a lot of those people out there that you think are just hillbilly deluxe, those are business owners. Now, they may not storm the White House, but they're standing out there in the audience. They're standing outside quietly. Just want you to know we're out here. We see you. And that's a true show of force. And I'm going to bring this up. In New York, if somebody can clarify or Google it and put in the chat, help me out. In New York, a cop, Asian cop, he was scared. He was going up the stairs. Black man was coming down the stairs and he shot him and killed him. Now, he's the only Asian man in like 30 years of New York to be convicted as a cop. And his family's out there chanting every day. They called up every Asian association, every business owner. Hey, he needs to be released. This is discrimination. This isn't fair. They shut down Asian stores in New York to go protest this man. That's economic power. That's power. The business owner, The business owner. Yeah, you got the bully, you got the muscle, you got the guy who will run up in the White House and act a monkey fool. You got him. Don't worry, he'll be arrested. Don't worry, he'll be charged. Don't worry, he'll be pepper sprayed. But that business owner that affects, that's the real change. Now that police officer, the only police officer in 30 years to be convicted in New York, get real jail time. He's not in jail. The judge got him on some type of probation. Again, anybody in New York, please Google, correct me, put the name down. I don't want to misspeak on New York, but I was so bothered by it because the Asian Association I'm a part of down here sent the email out. I'm like, what we doing? We in Texas, mind our business. We don't need to send no money to them up there in New York. Let that Asian community handle that. That's their people. But that's the power of owning a business, that you throwing $500 or $1,000 over here doesn't change your life. But it got that cop out of jail. Shut down stores up there. Another example, you got the guy protesting in front of the gas station where the guy's disrespectful and racist. Guess what? He said, fine, I'll sell this store. I don't care. I'll sell this store. I'll sell it for $5 million. Now, the guy outside protesting all damn day for 66 days in a row made the guy's business go down 80%, but he don't have no money to buy it. So who really won? And if they do buy it off of him for $5 million, what you think Mr. Indian Man go do? Because he certainly didn't buy that store for $5 million. He certainly didn't. I can tell you right now, I can go buy a gas station for 1.2 million in Texas. So I know where he at with that little raggedy gas station. He didn't pay $5 million. That's the difference in you being loud and protesting and actual real economic power. I want you to understand, when I talk about the future of this country and I talk about the PPP, the reason they're giving this PPP to those business owners is to quell the masses. But if you look at how businesses are set up, a lot of people hire their family first. Right this moment, we're instructing 5 family members into another company that we've developed. And they each have a role and they each know what they're supposed to do, and they're getting set up. How is that possible? Because most people are like, oh, I would never hire family. You usually don't have a strong enough business to do so. And that's just the facts. If you're like, I'd never hire family, I'm not going to mess my business up. That means you really don't have a strong business to begin with. That one person or somebody you have to train is not right. You can't put them in place to do stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. And what you have to understand about gas stations in the hood, the people are walking distance and they don't have a grocery store. So 9 times out of 10, they get their food and supplies and snacks from what? The gas station. So yeah, they do make money. It's called bodegas up north, if you guys will correct me. Bodegas and corner stores. Okay. Those beautiful corner stores. Tell me, New Yorkers, what do you call them? Bodegas. Okay. It makes lots of money. A lot of bodega owners, if you go Google the articles, were getting ridiculous PPP checks, and they've been kind of calling it out. Oh, there you go. Thank you so much. Officer Peter Lang, 2016. He received 5 years probation. He was scared. He's a police officer now. Going up the stairs, terrified. You didn't need to be there, baby. Okay. So again, I wanted to bring this up. I wanted to talk about this tonight. I want you to understand that the PPP, if you can get it. Because there's companies right now, Luby's got $10 million and then their board got it and the vote decided to close. Okay. So what does that mean? They took their $10 million and went home. Okay. You have a lot of companies who are going to, and let me be clear about the whole corner store thing. You could own it. You just don't want to. Some things are less appealing than others. And then I'll give you an example of what I mean. On my social media platform, when I say we make 6 figures, 6 figures is a marketing term. If you watch the previous video, we make healthy, big boy 6 figures on that, right? We make big boy 6 figures in trucking, but the headache of dealing with people is higher. The entry level for the trucking is lower. Now people say, no, YouTube's lower. Yeah, it's lower, but I know in a year, if you get a truck, you're going to make this much and You're going to be automatic 6 figures if you do it right. And authority. Right? Right? And someone is saying 5 years is equivalent to a felony. Let's pause before I finish what my other thought. You shot somebody and killed somebody walking down the stairs who didn't have a gun and was no threat to you. Think about that. And so he got 5 years probation. He's a cop. So just take a minute, think on that. Let it marinate in your head. Okay. PPP is a laugh now, cry later. PPP is a combination. Now, EIDL, run for the hills. But I just want you to be very clear. The future of America is business owners. It's the 1099 guy. It's the contractor who makes their own time. It's the person who hires people, because small business has always been a part of America's fabric forever and ever and ever. Right? There was a gas station near my hometown. I could have bought it for $70,000. But by the time you put some people in there, paying them $10 an hour, you got to deal with theft. Is it really worth the headache? Because you can't really mark up gas that high, but you can mark up all the food inside high. Right? And so am I disturbed by what I saw today in DC? I am very disturbed, because I feel like it just showed everybody that you can run up to the White House and act a monkey fool. And what's going to end up happening is that's going to be very dangerous. That can be very dangerous for our future. And nobody will think that, but it will be. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read this quote to y'all, and I'm going to look over some of your comments, and I'm going to wrap it up. But number 59 out of the book, 100 Ways to Motivate People. Focus like a camera. Most of the successful people I've known are the ones who do more listening than talking. Bernard Berkshire, right? A lot of people, that'll go over their head because they're like, Erica, you're talking a lot. But it'll go over your head. Don't worry. Let me see if I can find another one. Number 53, lead with enthusiasm. Nothing great was ever created without enthusiasm. People may not like Donald Trump. They may, he's so crass. He's so crass. But let me be very clear. It stirred the pot, right? 48 laws of power. He's stirring the water for the fish. And that energy doesn't just go away. Because if you really want to go back, that energy came out of the Tea Party as well. And we can say that energy is racist energy all we want. That's fine. But let's also identify the fact that people voted for Biden who said all kind of crazy stuff about Black people. That's not exactly not racist, okay? And just pay attention to the marketing, what they're saying. Number 51, because you're going to ask what the book is. A frightened captain makes a frightened crew. You have to know where you're going. And people will follow you if you have a discernment, a dominant personality, and can go. You're seeing a lot of little dominant personalities because sadly, Rush Limbaugh is probably going to die soon. He has like cancer level for stage 4 cancer. And there are a bunch of people who popped up because there's no longer gatekeepers on YouTube, on internet, on podcasts. Trust me. All you did is recreate the culture wars of the 90s. That's what's about to become up. It's a culture wars again, which is unfortunate, but we're going to have it again. Next thing, these last two, I think are the 34. Communicate concisely. Drowning in data, yet starve for information. Ruth Snott. Why did I read that one? You saw what happened with the PPP. You saw what happened with the internet. You saw what happened with the election. People were standing up there confused, bewildered, like 10 million more people voted for Trump, right? They're confused. Like, how is that possible? Know the data, but understand who you're talking to. You're talking to people who like a strong leader. And when you look at other countries, especially the Middle East, the strong leader tactic works for various reasons. Number 35, score the performance. Performance is your reality. Forget everything else. Harold Green. Now, why did I read this one? I'm going to read it again. Performance is your reality. Forget everything else. When I talk about Clayton Morris, which he can feel free to say anything he wants to me on this channel, performance is everything else. It didn't matter he had a bad track record because nobody Googles the past. They're too lazy. So now he can come on YouTube and create a whole new reality, and within a year, you've all forgotten about it. And 500,000 people follow this man in the middle of a court case. Same thing that Diamond Dave said. If you can't counsel someone who has an audience, right? So I can even go to these 500,000 people and say, hey, this guy has this court case thing going on. He's going to court. And people are going to be like, that was before this. Shh, be quiet, Erica. Be quiet. Don't talk about that. Right? Because you can't counsel someone who has an audience. Wow. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this got something through it. But again, PPP is here to stay in some form or fashion. Trust me, they'll do this again. This won't be the first one, but this will probably be the first two that are mostly forgiven. Yeah, the PPP and what happened in DC today, I'll probably do another commentary about that, but I'm a little sad about it. I think it could be better organized, and I think there is some Antifa out there cutting up and making it look bad. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you for everybody who was donating. As Xanatos Clutch, thank you. Asians from Texas have been way more chill and less racist to me than those from little states like New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, and California. My ex was Asian. That's here. Other ex is Hispanic. It's the who you associate with on class. Who do you mingle with on a day-to-day basis? Again, yeah, $5 million. He can sell that store and buy 3 more stores, right? So yeah, this is true. You need stuff that people need. People need your trade. They need plumbing. They need electric. They need those things. You cannot go without it. Frenchie, congratulations. Keep the house. Oh, I'm sorry I missed this. Pharaoh World, thank you for the $5 super chat. 85% of Americans are not going to make it. With that, 95% of Black people done. We don't even have $500 in our bank account. Unfortunately, I'm not going to lie to you. This is sad but agreeable. This is most Americans though, right? And so you have a lot of people right now who, and I'm going to be honest, this is my opinion. I'm not insulting anybody. If I was a husband or a wife right now and we only made $50K a year, I would look at my spouse and I'd go, we need 100 pounds of rice. We need a bunch of beans. And we need a deep freezer full of meat. I don't know what else we doing for the rest of the year, but we need to do that first before everything else, because we've already seen how 2020 went. But that's that not being aware. That's that same people from 2001, 2008, and 2020 are going to be left behind again. So it's unfortunate. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I just did 4 consults. So the deal, if you saw in the email, if you go get the Roger 20% class, full price, I'll do a 30-minute consult, because the last 7 consults I did were all people who were starting businesses. And it was like kicking butt. Vehicles, firearms, and ammo. Ammo is a great investment. Firearms are a great investment. Vehicles, where are you going to keep them? That's part of that. Certain vehicles, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, literally, all I saw on my timeline was nurses buying houses, stunting on them. I'm a nurse. So, yeah, that's what I saw. 40 billion. Yes, 40 billion. But if you read the book, Alternative Investments, 96% of Harvard and Yale's money is not invested in the stock market. It's in something else. So, oh, yeah, Torchy's is delicious. No, Torchy's isn't 24 hours. This is Tyson Tacos is open 24 hours. The dude who has DoorDashes, I think, is a new billionaire now. There you go. In a month and a half, done paying for my truck. CDL saved his life. Congratulations, man. What's crazy is I think I told y'all about Bitcoin. If you watch my stories, my VAs were cleaning all my emails. And in 2017, I apparently bought a portion of Bitcoin and a portion of Litecoin and a portion of Ethereum. And it took like 48 hours of us sending documents and proving it was me to even, they're not going to let me sell that thing for nothing. So anyway, I thought it was funny. I was in here geeking out, y'all. Change is imminent. Very much so. Very much so. So, Glenn Beck's an evil genius. Yeah, for many years he was, for sure. for sure. But yeah, I thank y'all for being on the show. I thank you for watching tonight. There are over 500 people here. We will continue this conversation most likely tomorrow. I think you have not seen the last of what was just happening at the White House. You didn't see the last of it. Donald Sterling, someone put in the comments, Donald Sterling, racist ass, sold the Clippers for $2 billion tax-free after buying them for $12 million in 1980s. That's right. That's how assets work. You buy them. So yeah, you buy them and you wait. You invest in them. So that's all I have for you guys. And if you're in my other class, my YouTube class, you guys know we have class tonight. So be ready. All right, you guys. Later.